I think a lot of times the decisions that we make are predicated on the conversations we need to have, because usually and what's interesting is like, you can define commitment by eliminating alternatives. So if you're committed, you've eliminated alternative actions.
Welcome to an enlightening journey with Alex Hormozi, a figure synonymous with transformation and strategic mastery. Today, we delve into a realm where decisions shape destinies and the mind battles between fear and greatness. Hormozi guides us through the intricate paths of human psychology, from the burdens of unmade decisions to the liberation found in swift action. We explore the nuances of commitment versus mere decision, the empowering process of overcoming insecurities, and the crucial skill of rapid decision-making, all while confronting the often debilitating fear of others' opinions.
What have you got to lose?
Exactly. And that was it. And I was like, I have nothing to lose. And that was when I think in the last podcast we talked about this, where it's like, if everybody who's like at the bottom and feels like they have nothing going for them, reframe that as, I have nothing going for me, which also means that I have nothing to lose by taking action, it makes you a much more dangerous person. And I think that was the flip that I've had repeatedly shown to me in my life that allowed me to take the step that I was afraid to take.
Hormozi starts by shedding light on the emotional toll of unresolved decisions. He explains that every decision we postpone creates a mental burden, akin to carrying an invisible weight. This burden can lead to increased stress and anxiety, as our minds are constantly preoccupied with the what-ifs and should-haves. The longer a decision remains unmade, the heavier this emotional load becomes, impacting our daily functioning and peace of mind. He then emphasizes the importance of making decisions promptly. Hormozi advocates for confronting decisions head-on rather than avoiding or delaying them. By resolving decisions swiftly, we can free ourselves from the mental clutter and uncertainty they create. This proactive approach, according to Hormozi, is key to reducing stress and gaining clarity, allowing us to move forward with confidence and purpose. Hormozi also quotes a thought-provoking statement, comparing unmade decisions to being heavier than physical objects like iron or gold. This metaphor powerfully illustrates how the intangible burden of indecision can be more taxing than the heaviest of tangible objects. It's a reminder that the mental and emotional weights we carry can have a profound impact on our lives.
I think a lot of times the decisions that we make are predicated on the conversations we need to have, because usually and what's interesting is like, you can define commitment by eliminating alternatives. So if you're committed, you've eliminated alternative actions, right? Like, you can say I'm committed, but until you eliminate other options, you're not committed.
There's always a get out of jail free card.
Right. And so a lot of people make decisions to end relationships, to quit their job, to start the new thing, but they don't become committed to the decision until they remove the other options. And then you're forced to take action on it. And so I think actually defining those two different things. Now you could define, decision as to kill off, like decidere from Latin, but from a colloquial thing, I think there are two different instances. It's like, I need to change this, and then I do change it. And the making the decision is when it becomes a commitment.
Hormozi begins by defining commitment as a step beyond decision-making. He explains that commitment involves not only making a choice, but also actively eliminating other alternatives. It's about burning bridges and closing doors to other options, creating a scenario where the only path forward is the one you've chosen. This level of commitment, Hormozi argues, is what separates successful endeavors from failed attempts. He then delves into the common gap between decision and commitment. Hormozi observes that many people make decisions, like starting a business, pursuing a goal, or changing a habit, but stop short of committing fully. They leave backup plans and escape routes which, while providing comfort, also create a subconscious safety net that can hinder full engagement and ultimate success. Further, Hormozi touches on the heaviness of unmade decisions, often rooted in fear, particularly the fear of judgment from others. This fear can lead to paralysis, preventing individuals from both deciding and committing. Overcoming this fear, he suggests, is critical to converting decisions into commitments, propelling us forward in our personal and professional lives.
So I remember this. When I was 19 years old, I was super angry, like all 19-year-old men, right? That's the standard default, right? I was angry at both my parents because I was 19, right? And I remember blaming them for everything, blaming them for my life, blaming them for not being a better person. I literally blamed them for being a bad person. And I remember realizing that when I blamed them, that I gave them control over my life. And then the idea that the people that I hated the most at the time were the ones who actually were controlling me was the thing that most sickened me, to then actually flip my narrative to actually taking control. Like, that was the one thought process. Like, my mother, I'm giving her control over my romantic relationship. Like, my mother controls this? Fuck that. I was like, no. And so, like, just the idea that somebody who I was disgusted by at the time had that much power is what gave me the power to start taking action.
Hormozi opens with the powerful realization that when we blame others for our insecurities, we inadvertently give them control over our lives. He emphasizes the importance of owning our insecurities instead of projecting them onto external factors. This shift from blame to ownership is a crucial step in regaining control and embarking on a journey of self-improvement. It's about acknowledging our vulnerabilities and taking responsibility for our feelings and actions. He then explores the idea that insecurities can actually serve as a powerful driving force. Hormozi argues that insecurities, when channeled correctly, can motivate us to prove our worth, not to others, but to ourselves. This perspective sees insecurities as a source of energy and determination, pushing us to achieve our goals and surpass our limitations. Further, Hormozi discusses how we can use our insecurities as a source of motivation to take control of our lives. He suggests practical ways to confront and harness these insecurities, transforming them into opportunities for growth and development. By doing so, we move from a place of self-doubt to a position of strength and self-empowerment.
You can move through life at 7 times the rate of other people by simply changing when you say you're going to make a decision from end of week to end of day. So think about how that stacks up. So it's like, let's say that there were 4 decisions that you needed to make. If the normal person takes a week to make the decision, and then their mind moves on to the next thing that they have anxiety for and start making that decision and decide another week, decide another week, decide another week. It's a month to make those 4 decisions. Whereas the Superman that takes one decision day 1, second decision day 2, third decision day 3, fourth decision day 4, they aren't even finished the week yet, and they're where the other person is at the end of the month. And like that speed of decision making, like not paying the attention cost, the opportunity cost of your time, I think it's really profound in terms of how quickly people move through life, in terms of achieving the goals that they set out. Because people are like, how is that guy so young and he's achieved X, Y, and Z? It's like, well, what takes you a month to make a decision, we make in an hour. And then the next hour, I make another decision that takes you your next month. And so like, that's how you can go 30 times or 100 times faster than the quote average person who's overweight, has $1,000 in their bank account, and is going to die at 70.
Hormozi begins by highlighting the edge that rapid decision-making can provide in various aspects of life. He explains that in a world where time is a precious commodity, the ability to make quick decisions can be a significant advantage. This speed in decision-making allows for faster action, adaptation, and often a head start over others who may be more hesitant. He then draws a compelling comparison between the average person and a rapid decision maker. Hormozi illustrates how an average person might deliberate extensively, weighing every possible outcome, often leading to procrastination or missed opportunities. In contrast, a rapid decision maker evaluates the necessary information swiftly, makes a decision, and moves forward. This rapid approach, Hormozi argues, is a key differentiator in achieving goals and seizing opportunities. Moreover, Hormozi emphasizes that making decisions promptly can significantly accelerate the achievement of goals. He suggests that quick decision-making reduces the time spent in indecision, allowing more time for action and progress. This method not only speeds up the process of reaching objectives, but also builds a momentum of productivity and success.
You know, real talk, the tweets that I have, people don't know this, but the tweets are notes to self.
Yep.
So they're just directed at me so that I can look back on them and like be reminders of like, hey, don't do that. And so like, I think to myself, man, I'm afraid of doing this. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm afraid of what this person's going to think about me. Because if I were to be able to fail in quiet, in complete isolation, then I wouldn't care. And then I think, well, what if I don't succeed in public? What do they think then? Nothing, right? They don't think about me at all. And so obviously that comes from the perspective of seeking to gain approval and attention from others anyway. So it's like, listen, if you're insecure, which everybody is, let's be real, you might as well use the insecurity to get something out of it, right? Like one of my favorite things about entrepreneurship is like use what you've got. And so a lot of people think that they need to fix their conditions in order to get like the perfect conditions before they start. But the perfect condition is whatever one you're in, because it gives you whatever assets you have. That's the cards that you're dealt. And so you just play the hand. And a lot of people have great cards. It's like, man, I'm so afraid of, it's like, use it. It's like, I have nothing. What makes you very dangerous because you have nothing to lose, right? Like one of the really interesting things about, I think about it from a business perspective, but it probably applies to everything, is that there's always an advantage and a disadvantage from every position.
Hormozi opens by discussing how people are often more motivated by the fear of appearing inadequate than by the desire to achieve greatness. He delves into the psychology behind this fear, explaining that it's rooted in our basic need for social acceptance and belonging. This fear, however, can become a significant barrier, limiting our willingness to take risks and push beyond our comfort zones. He then addresses how cynicism and the avoidance of trying new things often act as a safety blanket against the potential pain of public failure. Hormozi explains that adopting a cynical attitude can be a subconscious defense mechanism. It protects individuals from the vulnerability that comes with striving for success and possibly failing in the public eye. Furthermore, Hormozi emphasizes the detrimental impact of worrying about others' opinions on our pursuit of goals. He argues that being overly concerned with public perception can stifle creativity, hinder progress, and ultimately hold us back from reaching our full potential. Hormozi encourages a shift in perspective, focusing on personal development and goals rather than external validation.